Welcome to another episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Rikkii Valera. On today's episode, we are going to break down the disaster of the Perfect Match Season 2 finale and that quote-unquote, whatever you want to call, reunion at the end of it, which was filled with plenty of drama. But I am so excited to have somebody with me on the show to break all this mess down. I am joined by the one, the only, Miss Story Time with Rikkii from TikTok, from all over the place. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you? Happy to be here.
I'm excited. We've bonded over trash, which I like to call it, because reality TV is exactly that. It's
Yeah.
trash. But there's nothing, I don't think there's anything better than kind of decompressing and just scrolling through TikTok, watching each other's videos of how we kind of sometimes interpretate, what happens on these shows, right? Because it's always not always the same.
Right. Right. Everybody views it differently. And I think that's what makes it so fun is everybody has like a different opinion. So it's fun to like, oh wow, she saw it that way or he saw it that way. And like I saw it this way. Like, it's so much fun.
It is. It is. I've been a huge fan of your content for a long time. Excited to have you kind of break down this wild mess of that was a finale. But before we dive into the finale, share some thoughts on the show up to the finale. Nothing too long, just whatever your vibes from the season as a whole, and maybe compared to season one.
I mean, I think season one it was new and it was fresh, so it was exciting. I think as viewers, we always like to see some of like our faves come back, and I think that's why we watch the show. But I think that I am convinced that nobody's there for their perfect match. Everybody's there for drama and screen time and mess. And honestly, I'm here for that. Like I'm here for that versus like the love.
And I think that's what makes me really mad, right? It kind of makes me mad because it's like I really just want a couple to work out because it would just make me feel a little bit good about watching it. But it's also just so much fun to watch the mess.
It's so much fun. But again, one couple, like again, I think like Love is Blind, right? Like we get mess, but we also get like that one couple, and it's like, oh, okay, one is all I need. Two is too much, Just give me one.
Right, because we needed to, and I think the big thing about it is I think Netflix needs it because it gets to a point where this show becomes kind of like, all right, we're just watching just people just kind of screw around. Because in my
Right.
opinion, I've always felt they needed to do more of a challenge style universe where it's the people that are coming together to win a prize. And if they fuck type of thing. Because that's what
Yeah,
happens on the challenge. That's what's happened on the challenge for like 30 and 40 years. People have met each other and married each other, divorced each other off the challenge. You know
right,
what I mean? It's
right,
messy and they're all brought back. We've seen CT, he's been on like 17 different seasons of the challenge, and Johnny Bananas is always out there. All of these characters are always included, but then always coming back and like, oh man, I slept with that person. I fucked over that person. But it's like, and it's exactly what Harry did. Harry walked in the house, said, oh man, I hope I don't see anybody I slept with in the house. And then of course he did, and then spilled the
right,
tea to everybody about it, and then got
right.
mad about it. But
Right.
yeah, we just need a win. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A win.
yeah.
That's all we're asking for.
We need
Because Love
one.
is Blind is even slowly dwindling down to not giving us as many wins. You know what I mean? Like it's tough.
Love is Blind is losing it. It's like we used to see three couples. Now we're seeing two. We're lucky if we get one. Like we're definitely losing the love aspect of it. But again, I don't think anybody's watching the perfect match for love. Like,
No,
we're just
definitely not at all. Definitely not at all. I do think that they could. I do think that's one thing that we're going to talk about at the end of the show. If there's any ways that we would possibly fix Perfect Match for season three, I have it on good authority that there's going to be a season three. I
okay.
know they are currently looking. I probably will get in trouble for saying that, but I really don't care. But yes. So let's talk about the first thing that I want to rip the band-aid off. Let's talk about the Jess and Izzy situation. This to me was really weird. I don't first off, first things first. How am I going to say this? I feel like she was brought back into the house on purpose almost,
Yeah.
because to me it was like if you felt their relationship with Harry and Jess was so serious, why would you bring her back into the house to go on a date with the one guy who couldn't match with anybody and date anybody, right?
Right. Right. I thought that I honestly thought the last episode was like a waste of time. Like, one, it did not need to be an hour and 45 minutes. And two, like, why are we still having challenges? Why are we still having a boardroom when we've already had a mixer and everybody's already met? I felt like it was like just the girls trying to bring their girl back into the house versus it like being strategic. Again, there shouldn't have been a boardroom. There shouldn't have been another challenge. Everybody knows everybody. Like, that was pointless. And it gave like clout grab. Like, I feel like if I were her, I'd have been like, you know what? Like, I thought I found a connection here. I didn't. And like, honestly, I don't want any more parts of this. Like,
And then
and
did that the next morning anyway. And
yeah, I would have done that. I would have did that before I went on the date. Like, I'd have been like, you know what? No, like my time in the house is done. You
yeah,
know?
before Izzy sweat all over me, I that was
Right.
so.
Also, like, I don't want to go on a date with Izzy. Like, nobody wants to go on a date with Izzy. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm just out.
Exactly. I just don't. What? Okay. So throughout the season, what did you obviously because the beginning of this episode kicks off? Were you kind of surprised that Jess didn't rematch with Harry?
Um, I think she would have got shit if she did.
Yeah.
I think it was like her in her best interest that she didn't, especially because of how her argument went down on camera with Melinda. I think she would have gotten so much backlash if like you just kind of went in on this girl, had all this smoke for her, didn't have any smoke for Harry, and then forgave him and matched with him. I think it was her best move that she didn't, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the edit of the kiss heard around the world. So this to me, I found very funny, right? Because, all week we were building to, I mean, Melinda couldn't post anything on social media without getting dragged.
Right.
There's
Right.
no way you did not, there's no way he kissed you. First off, it's Harry. Like,
Right.
if we were defending I don't really. There's none of these guys are really defendable. I don't really know which one. I'm gonna let's pick. We're gonna pick Johnny. If we were picking Johnny from Love Is Blind season 6, if we were defending Johnny, I like Johnny. So we'll
Right.
pick. Sorry, Tiffany. But sorry, Amy. Whatever his wife's name
Right.
is. Sorry, Johnny. If that was we're defending him, yes, but we're defending Harry, saying
Right.
Harry didn't kiss you. Come on,
Right.
like of all people.
Like, I was really confused why people were so adamant that she was lying. I thought it was, first of all, it was written all over Harry's face that he was caught. Like, he looked like a little boy that just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. Like, he was just like, huh? No, what? Like, he was red as a tomato. Like, to me, I was like, it's quite obvious that this man did something wrong. The first thing he's saying is like, no one saw it, not it didn't happen. And honestly, I feel like if it was anybody but Melinda, if it was somebody that people deemed Harry's type, I think people don't deem Melinda Harry's typical type. But if it was, nobody would have questioned it. That's my
100%.
yeah.
Because obviously we see, kind of fast forward a little bit, but we see when we see them kind of show that montage, we see what went down. He preaches about how dumb he was, and then of course they people sitting there don't see what we see obviously at home,
Right.
but he's like, I want to put babies in her, which is weird. First off, and then like
Right.
his comment, like his even his dumb comments. I hope they're tall and athletic. I'm like, Carrie,
Yeah.
just shut the fuck up, bro. But then he kisses her, said, I want to fuck you. She says, of course, I'd climb that tree. And then
Right.
proceeds to chastise the workers. These people are doing their jobs.
Mhm.
And this boy's like standing up. And then, of course, you have all the boys be like, yeah, man, he made a mistake. And oh, no.
But
Like,
all the boys like miraculously acting like they didn't see shit when he's literally going up to them saying, "Oh my god, like I messed up. I did something bad. I can't tell you on camera, but none of you guys knew about it." Like, but again,
He literally walked up and said to him, hey, man, like, I fucked up, bro. What'd you
yeah.
do? I can't tell you. Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. But to me, I feel like Harry is not stupid. I feel like Harry knew all along that there was footage. I feel like he knew it was going to come out. I feel like he, was just trying to build up this big moment of
Yeah.
drama. the kiss heard around the world, right? Like it's what everyone's talking about it, and we're talking about him. So Harry's not a dumb guy. He hasn't made millions of dollars on reality TV for no reason. He knew damn well that there was evidence of that kiss.
Yeah,
So.
he's as good as everybody was like, well, why were people talking about people still being together? Y'all don't understand the fact that they have a show to promote, okay?
Right.
Why do you think Izzy and his girlfriend that he was been dating for like 7 or 8 months or whatever, he completely wiped from his Instagram leading into Perfect Match? Like Elise has been seeing that guy that she came back out with. Like she's been seen with him since like October. You know what I mean? Like these people have been with, but they erased them from their social media to promote the show. Like
Right.
only Harry can announce on his podcast that he dated a woman with a child and they didn't work out right before a show can come out without getting in trouble. You know what I mean? But I mean,
Harry, why can Harry like spill tea, and why can Harry like kind of tell us what's happening, but nobody else can? And I'm like, okay, Netflix loves Harry, so clearly.
yeah, that social media following is massive. I mean, it's kind of crazy. What did what did we make of the Micah and Kaz reuniting? Like,
you know what? I feel like Micah could have had her bad bitch moment by leaving Kaz in the dust. And I feel like she missed her opportunity to like for everybody to yes, queen her, because I feel like her taking Kaz back was the biggest mistake. Like, how do you let him play in your face like that and then just be like, like back I go. It wasn't the best look for her. Like honestly, I would have told him to kick rocks. But also I feel like it wasn't a good look for her to match with Izzy because it's so obvious at this point that you're just trying to stay in the house. Like you're just trying to stay in the house, want this man, and to use him as a placeholder till you got back with Kaz. Like I feel like it would have been a better look for her to just say, you know what, screw you, Kaz, I'm out of here. And then when he came calling back to like tell him to stick it where the sun don't shine.
yeah, I agree with you. There, that could have really been a redemption arc. Obviously, going into this season, Micah has a bit of a mean girl-esque style to her personality, which is not getting any better with some of the most recent videos being released. But I think the only time the sticking in the house really works is early in the show with when Elise did it, right? Because if everybody remembers, Dom did the same thing because Dom fell in love with Francesca in about 2.5 minutes on season 1. And then when Damien came in the house, she dumped his ass for him really fast, and then Dom like stayed in the house and then got with Georgia, and then the rest was kind of history. Elise kind of did the same thing with Justin, who was noticeably missing from the reunion as well. But that's fine. Towards the end of the show, it's just like, all right, y'all guys are just matching because, you know, it's because I think you even broke it down. What Christine said it that who was it? Britton and who?
Britton and Dom.
Yeah, Dom. There's Dom again. They kind of thought that they were going to be able to match up that night, and guess stay in the house or whatever. She broke that down and then they got kicked out too, apparently, right?
Right, yeah, because they had to match with somebody that was in the house, that had a space in the house. I heard that Trevor and Melinda allegedly also tried to like match so that they could like move forward, but it couldn't have been two people that were not in the house at all. So
Trevor,
who we know had a girlfriend, he had a whole girlfriend, but yeah.
Can we talk about how much I love that he tried to get his like 2 seconds in during the whole reunion thing, just to because he knew inside, like he's had like 3 seconds of screen time between like the 3 episodes he's on. He just had to say something during this reunion just to try to say something.
Trevor, please, nobody wants to hear from you. Just
go away. Just go. Go away, please. All right. So before we talk about who won, which was definitely interesting, let's talk about the couples going into the kind of finale there. You had Steven and Alara, Tolu and Chris, Brighton and Elise, Christine and Nigel, Micah and Kaz, Harry and Jess.
Right.
No, sorry, not Harry and Jess. They weren't there. Sorry.
They weren't.
What did I miss? No, I forgot. I meant Jess and Izzy, but I forgot they ran away. Okay, so I really thought Steven and Laura was going to win.
Me too. They should have won. Like
I think they should have won, right?
They should have won 100%.
And I guess the question is, do you think that maybe they try to work together Because obviously, not to get too far, obviously Alara said he ghosted him when he left. Do you think if they go on this vacation together, maybe they try to make things work?
M- Maybe, but I feel like Steven and Alara were the clear winners. Anybody who didn't vote for them is a hater. But what I also found interesting was in season one, remember they asked the couples, like, do you feel like you guys are each other's perfect match? And like the couple would be like, no, we're not. Like, so they weren't even in the vote. Versus this time, everybody was just in the vote. Like Brighton, is that his name? Brighton and
Yeah.
Elise, like,
Oh, that's
you
who yeah, yeah.
I'm like, Bryson,
Brighton?
uh,
Somebody.
whatever his name is, like, do you guys really think you're the perfect match? And then it's like to answer honestly and be like, no, like we're not. And then like, leave that up to the other couples that are like kind of more believable, but
Yeah.
100% think Steven and Alara should have won. I was surprised that they didn't.
Yeah, because I even remember that last year because like even Joey and Carousel, like I felt they were like day one couple. They should have probably won, and then some random reason like Dom and Georgia won. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess 2 seasons in a row we have we can't figure out why anybody won.
Yeah, like I'm like, who's voting? Like, and again, all of the chatter of the cast
Yep.
behind the scenes, they're saying that they had PACs formed and promised to vote for these people and these people. And like, so it's like, okay, well, that sucks. Like, because if we're forming PACs and we're not letting people in the house and we're promising we're gonna vote for people, like nobody the viewer wants is gonna win ever.
I mean, because I'm gonna be honest with you, because whoever picked, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but Christine is must see TV. Period. She should have been one of the first 10 in the house. I believe that from day one. I think that
Yeah,
she would have been perfect from day
yeah,
one. I think she would have been. I don't think she would have been exactly the most faithful person in the world because I think she's a little player and I love her for it.
yeah,
But she is spicy. She's funny. She's charming. She's beautiful. Like
yeah.
she needed to be more of a central focus of this show because I
I
love
agree.
her.
I
I'm not mad. I'm not mad she won. You know what I mean? I'm not mad because I love her.
fun. I'm actually like I think that her and Nigel make a really good looking couple. I think Nigel's boring AF. Like he brought nothing on his season of Too Hot to Handle. He brought nothing this time, but him next to Christine, like I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. But I think it was like again, I think their pairing kind of confused me because it's like the rules have changed, right? Like somebody has to be in the house for you guys to match, and you guys are both like not fully in the house. So like realistically, if we're going by the rules that were set, like they shouldn't have been able to match with each other. But I mean, considering that they lasted the longest out of all the couples there, it's like, were they really the worst match? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because they said what as of was it like 5/29 that they were still like they had 9 month back and kind of back and forth relationship, which is awesome. I did think it was funny that Kaz kind of called him out for being safe and in the reunion part of it. He called it, but it's like that's crazy. And we talked about this before we got in, but like the drama off screen
yeah,
almost has superseded what we saw on screen with a lot of different things
yeah,
because the season has been good, but you could kind of see, especially towards the end, a lot of people were trying to maybe win this vacation, win the show, get that
right,
screen time. Even Harry
right,
says on his podcast, we're all there to clout chase. We're all
right,
trying to get. I mean, as you've seen, a lot of these people gain a lot of followers over the last month of this show. It's
yeah.
been a lot. So, what do you kind of make of that aspect of the things? Like, yeah, what do you make of that whole aspect of that thing?
I don't think anyone's there to win the show because, like I said, unless you like, who wants to go on a vacation with somebody like that they don't even like? Like Dom and Georgia, last season didn't even make it to their vacation before everything went to shit. So I think the goal, like Melinda did say that they all get paid to be there, so they're all like getting money to be there. But I think the goal is the airtime. You know what I mean? Like to
Yeah.
get as you can, get as popular as you can, get viewers to like you, so you can get those followers, so that you can get those brand deals. So I think it does like rob people like Christine of her experience if like you guys had a pact to like not let her in the house. Like, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't get that moment. And like you said, Christine's good TV. Like it would have been some drama in that house had Christine been there because honestly, some of the beginning characters like were really boring. Like it was like, oh, now what? Okay. So I do like, I don't
Izzy.
know. Izzy, Xanthi, Dominique, like to me, I'm like, okay, you guys are like literally bringing nothing. And Harry said on his podcast, like production told him, like, you need to spruce stuff up. Like nobody brought you here to be Mr. Loverboy, Mr. Monogamous. Like you better do what you do.
Be
So,
Harry, damn it.
be Harry, be the Harry that we hired you to be, but it's honestly like we love the drama, right? If it wasn't for Harry, if it wasn't for Melinda, if it wasn't for the kiss heard around the world, like if it wasn't for Kaz and his fuckboy tendencies, like what would we really have had?
Look, I know it's unpopular to the masses, but I love Kaz. I love his character. I love the way he is. I understand, but I think from the entertainment aspect of
Yeah,
things, Kaz was any girl that walked in that house, his eyes immediately went from Micah to whoever it was. It
right,
didn't matter who it was. That was never like alarming to Micah, and I felt bad for her in a way, but in other ways, like, how do you not see this man's eyes just go like this the moment? And
right.
to speak on Christine being like that 5 minutes at the pool with Kaz was some of the best. Like her just trying to entice him to get was some of the best best part of the entire show was
Right,
with her.
right,
Again, it just put her, and then of course Tolu. We haven't even really talked about her yet. Um, just absolute gem of a human being, absolutely
right,
amazing. Fuck Chris for what he did to her because I really
right.
felt like watching this Tolu like people forget Tolu came from the trust. The trust did not air until this January. Okay, so it
Oh,
didn't air to this year. So when she was coming on this show, she had just come from a show that like wasn't Love is Blind, wasn't,
right,
any of these Too Hot to Handles or any of these more popular shows. She's coming from a show that's not even established yet. This is the first season of this particular show. So she's kind of like a lone wolf in this, and she
yeah.
stole the show. You know what I
For
mean?
sure.
She was a light
Yeah.
fan of Tolu, right?
Yeah, she's like my MVP. She's like my diamond of the season, sort of say.
Yep.
Like she was my favorite to watch. I feel like she was the most genuine. I feel like, even though I think everybody's there for a little bit of clout, like I feel like if I had to say, oh, name two people that you think like maybe kind of sort of pretended the best to be there for the right reasons, it would be Tolu and Justin for me. So I love Tolu. I think she's great. I love her energy. I think she's so fun. Like I think she's gorgeous, and I really hate that Chris did her like that because it's like from the beginning, I couldn't tell if Chris was genuine. It was like it kind of seemed like he was because he said he was into Melinda. So I was like, okay, maybe he is like attracted to Tolu. And that's the problem with these Netflix shows. And I think we hear about it a lot on social media. It's like you need to make it a fun experience for everybody and not and like people have preferences and that's fine, but you need to cast people that Tolu is their preference, Melinda is their preference. Like you're casting the Doms of the world and sending him on a date with Tolu, and it's like we've seen Dom's dating record. We've seen him in season 1. He does not like women like Tolu. And so it's just unfair, and like Chris used her and he's a bitch. Like
For real. And my thing is this, and I remember I was watching the reunion part of it, and I'm just like, because I was watching it, and you just know that, none of them are fucking together. But like, I'm
right.
watching it, and I was rewatching it earlier, and I'm like, man, you fumbled the bag. Like Tolo is a gem, like absolute, and good for her because fuck him. But like, she's just such a gem, and I do believe, like, I'm 100% with you. Like, she's the MVP. She was in the house from day one. She was
Mhm.
great. And I do think I love the way that she was supportive of the other women. She was
Yeah.
always giving Micah the pep talks and trying to tell her, hey girl, like get out there and get your booty on. You know what I mean? Like get
Yeah.
out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? And then, of course, her vibrant personality, her smile is worth like $1 million on itself. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tolu was my clear runaway MVP,
Mine too.
1000%.
100%. I know. I'm like ready to fight for her in the comments when people like say, "Oh, she was annoying," or "She was," and I'm like, some people like can't handle a amazing personality. Some people can't. Like some people want to dim her light, so to speak, and it's like you can't dim her light. And that's what I love about her is that she's herself in every interview that I've seen and behind the scenes on camera. Like she's the same person, and I can appreciate that because I feel like you don't see that with the rest of the cast. Like you're seeing a persona on TV, and then like behind the scenes, it's like, oh, you're actually not the same person. Like So I
Yeah,
appreciate
for
that.
me, what I've seen with her over some time now is obviously when I talk to her like she's just vibrant, she's full of life and she's a joy. But you're right, I didn't even think about it in that way. Like when you see her on Instagram Live, when you see her on TikTok, she's appreciative of the massive amount of following she is gaining from this
Yeah,
show. Because again,
yeah,
like I said, even before this, like she was low man on the total. Trust wasn't a popular show, but not Love is Blind popular. Not a lot of people watched The Trust. Not a lot of people knew who Tolu was. And
mhm,
I love that about her. And she just she's real. Yeah, I just felt like she
yeah,
was real. I do think that a lot of me felt like watching her. Sure, was there probably maybe part of it was like, yeah, I'm going to go on here because I could get, some clout and blah, blah,
right.
blah. But she did seem very genuine in her. All right. That being said, I'm going to put you to the test. I'm going to make you rank the couples. And I'm throwing Harry and Jess in there just because I have to.
Okay.
But because they were there for a little bit. But all right. So we had Tolu, Chris, Steven, Alara, Elise, Brighton, Harry, Jess, Nigel, and Christine, and Mike and Kaz. I need you to rank them for me.
Like first place to sixth place.
Let's do last to first.
Last place is Brighton and Elise. 100%. Like that's a joke. Like, ew.
I can't stand Brighton.
I
Sorry.
can't stand him. He's so obnoxious and annoying. And then Elise said that he ghosted right after. And like, so whatever. He wasn't there for the right reasons. I feel like that was obvious. I didn't watch him on Squid Games, but apparently he was the same exact way. Their last place, he should have never been able to come back. Okay, I'm gonna put Kaz and Micah in 5. I'm gonna put Kaz and Micah in 5. Like, I feel like you shouldn't have took him back, girl. You could have had your moment if you would have walked away from him. He's a fuck boy, but he's good for TV, so I'm here for it. Jess and Harry. Yeah, see, Jess and Harry and Tolu and Chris are like, because I hate Chris, but it's like I love Tolu, so it's like, but like, I guess Chris faked it better than Harry did because Harry like let his shit spill out on TV. At least Chris waited until it was over. So I'm gonna go Jess and Harry, Tolu, Chris, Nigel, Christine, Steven, and Alara.
I think for me, I think the only to be honest with you, I have Elise and Brighton last just because I don't like Brighton. And then of course when Dominic went live and said what they really were fighting about, that really bothered me as well.
Right.
Outside of him saying yoga wasn't a workout, which he's a fucking moron. But that's beside the point. They're definitely I love Elise though. I do like Elise a lot though.
I did
She's
too.
another one that I feel like she got the raw end of the still because she started with Harry, which and then she had Dom 2.0, which I hate to say. I'm sorry, Justin, but Dom 2.0, and I say that because he fell in love really, really fast. And I probably get it. At least he's a beautiful girl and all of those
Right.
things. And I do feel empathy for him, but I just feel like they just dropped the love bomb so damn fast on this show. God.
Yeah. There's no way that you guys are really in love. Like, I'm not buying it at all. But Justin did seem very genuine. In my
He did.
opinion,
Agreed.
watched him on Surviving Paradise and he was really, really loyal in his show. So I do feel like that loyalty kind of spilled out on the wrong show. But I think Elise should have just wrote it out with him. I think Elise tried to make like a bold move to like shake things up and it was entertaining. But I feel like she can't really get mad at like how Harry did her and like she kind of did the same thing to Justin.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna put Harry and Jess next, only because I can't stand Harry. I think that Harry has made a mockery of his time on the show because the entire time we heard him going into the show was, I'm a changed man. I went to therapy. I'm here to look for a wife. And I'm sorry, Jess is a catch. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you don't fumble the bag, maybe you are married by now, or maybe you are boyfriend and girlfriend, but you can't be 1 minute fair in therapy and then on your podcast now you're saying that you were sober before you went on the show and then now I'm a drunk boy. I was drunk the entire time.
Right. And now on his podcast, he's still saying, I've been in therapy. Harry a year ago is not the same as Harry now. So it's the same story, just now a year later. He's different now than he was then. That's what he said.
I'm like, what changed? He's like, I'm not drinking no more. I'm like, but buddy, like you said, like, you know what's crazy? And this is going to be very stupid of me. and maybe this is just me showing myself. When he first said that on the show, I was like, "This is Harry, fuck boy. We already know." I was like, "He's like, I went to
Right.
therapy." I was like, "You know what? I think I'm gonna give Harry a chance." And then like 15 minutes later, I was like, "Yep, same old Harry." You know,
Like, oh, motherfucker.
same fucking Harry. I'm gonna do Mike and Kaz next, just because. Man, I really hate putting Kaz that low. I love Kaz. I just think that he was great television. You know what I mean? To me, if I make a top like 3 MVP, Kaz is on the list, and it's only because he was the most entertaining person, most entertaining guy. He was by far the most entertaining guy, I think.
Yeah, the fuck boys were entertaining. Between him and Harry, they brought the drama, and
Yes.
you
And I
they
just love
they
the way, I'm telling you, I loved it. Like, somebody needs to do this because I don't have the time to do it. But just every time some girl would walk by Kaz and he would sit next to Micah, he would just go like this. Like, he would just, and he wasn't shy about it. You know what I mean? And there's,
right.
Kaz is Kaz. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah, Tolu, Chris. I've just told it's hard to like rank the people you love on one side of things.
Right.
And then Nigel and Christine, and then Steven and Alara. Steven and Alara should have won this damn show. I don't, well, I say I like Alara, but then Christine's just
Spilled.
tea she spilled. For anybody listening to this that did not watch Christine thing, give us a brief summary of what Christine said on her YouTube video.
Okay, so if you don't know, Christine dropped a 27-minute YouTube video basically spilling behind the scenes tea or what really went down in the house. A lot of it was centered around Kaz. So she basically was saying that Kaz was leading women on. It wasn't just like flirting, which is what I think we all kind of thought as viewers, like just some flirting, but he was like legitimately telling Holly, like, oh, I have a better connection with you. He was legitimately telling Britton, like, I'm going to match with you. And then he went and matched with Micah. So he was kind of playing in everybody's face a little bit. But what she said about Alara, she said that basically Steven and Alara's Stefan, whatever his name is, Stefan and Alara were basically like a lustful relationship. It didn't last longer than a week. That Stefan basically ghosted Alara like a week after filming. She said that Alara slid in Nigel's DMs while him and Christine were still dating, that Nigel like showed her the DM. And she said that after filming that they stayed in Mexico for like a week and Harry was with Jess and Alara tried to hook Harry up with another woman, even though she's friends with Jess. And the biggest bombshell that she dropped was that allegedly Alara stayed at Harry Jousi's house when she came to visit in Los Angeles. And she's friends with Jess. So that's what she said about Alara.
And I'll be honest with you, I've watched many of the lives, and I've watched Chris's, I've watched Justin's, which I watched Chris's, like, I think he was live, like, right before we started talking. And I was watching it, and then I was like, yeah, I just can't watch this anymore. I was like, I think I unfollowed him too. I just can't with it. I just like Team Tolu all day, every day.
Yeah,
Twice
strange.
on
I heard
Sunday.
like, last week he was trying to allude to like one couple still being together, and like he was trying to allude to the fact that it was him and Tolu, like, and like it's like old, like he was like, she was like putting comments under his page like, I haven't talked to you in 10 months, and he's like deleting like trying to allude to the fact that it's them, and it's like yeah, I mean clearly it was Nigel and Christine who just recently broke up. So
Which good for them. Not good for them that they broke up, but good for them that, they lasted 9 months. I wish you could they have not like been like Netflix should have been like, hey guys, just stay together for a little bit longer. Like
a
even a
little bit.
week after the show's over, you can break up. Like just give us some
Yeah,
sort of success story here.
something. And she said that they had just gotten into a big fight when they did the Where Are They Now? So
Which
they
are
were like throwing
hilarious.
they were like throwing shade. Like the fact that Nigel like was like, yeah, we're working that, and then like completely switched his answer, like, oh yeah, she broke my trust. Like, what is it? Because these are two different stories. So
It was hilarious. All right, so
yeah.
top 3 cast members from the season.
Top 3, Tolu's number 1. It's so crazy because I would have said Alara because I thought she was a vibe, but I'm snatching the ranks from her after the tea I heard. Like I'm like, ooh, girl, you staying at Harry's house? You're another one. You're sliding in Nigel's DM while he's got a woman, like while he's got a bad bitch like Christine. Christine, I'm gonna give Christine number 2. Um, And I don't know if I even have a number three.
This
Like,
cast was terrible.
I'll go 100% Christine. And I don't think I like anybody else.
I know this cat. Like I was looking through the names because I was trying to think of three myself because I was like looking at because like if you think about like half of them didn't even really get
Elise,
on the like get a minute for me to even care about them. You know what I
Elise.
mean?
I guess if I had to give a third, I would give it to Elise.
Yeah, I think mine is definitely Tolu, definitely Christine, and definitely Kaz. I'm just a Kaz guy at heart. I just love Kaz. I just do. I just love the fuckboy vibes, and I've even told them that. I was like, dude, I just love you. I
Yeah.
love just
And Nigel were really good eye candy for the women. Like they are good. And honestly, Harry is a good looking guy. Like you could say what you want, he's a piece of shit, but like he's not a bad looking guy. Anybody that's like gonna call him ugly, it's like, he's not
He's
ugly.
not.
Like
No, there's times where like on this podcast, sometimes he got like a red face, and I'm like, bro, what's going on, dude? Like, what are you like? Stop. No, Carrie is a
right.
good look. No, Kaz is a very, very, very fine looking man. That is a damn good looking man.
It's the earring for me though. He's got the fuckboy earring. That's like he's got the Bartiz and Chase earring. That's just like, oh man, that's where you lose me. Like that's like literally a deal breaker. Like when I got that earring, it's like, oh, done. Done.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, because like looking at the other guys here, we had Izzy, which I mean, he should have just disappeared into the abyss after making a complete ass out of himself after episode one with the whole Micah situation. That was just I mean, I guess you shouldn't, and I phrase this term loosely. You shouldn't put a grown-ish man on the show, ish man on the show when you have a bunch of boys. I think that's one thing that Jake, he was on for like a drop of. I hated him on the Ultimate. I hated him on the Ultimate. Did you watch the Ultimatum?
Did watch the ultimatum.
I did not
I,
like him at all in
I
that.
hate him. I didn't hate him, but I feel like literally when you said that he was on this show, I forgot. I completely forgot that he was on here.
Yeah,
But again,
yeah, yeah.
that
God,
what changed about the show, right? Like
yeah.
I forgot he was there.
That's the perfect transition. All right. I figured maybe we can go back and forth on this one. Perfect Match season 3. Like I said, I do believe I have heard they're casting for it right now. I've heard some of the names they're casting for it. And maybe I got to have you come back on. So maybe we'll make our own dream cast. We should do that
Okay.
together in a future episode. I'm down for that. But what are some of the steps of maybe how you would potentially fix a season 3 of Perfect Match to make it maybe more entertaining, more different, or would you leave some of the aspects that are the same?
The number one thing that I think I would change is I think that the bombshells do not have enough time in the house. So I would make it more so like, because I think if you notice, like a bombshell may be able to sneak in the house in the beginning, but after a few episodes, like there's no way that they're getting in. I think it might be interesting to like let them give them like 48 hours, right? Like you give them 48 hours to be in the house, form a connection, maybe give them the opportunity to steal someone's match for a day or two, to give them an honest shot of like forming a connection. Because at the end of the day, these people are like, okay, you've only really known him for 3 days. So if I get a day or two with him, I have a real shot at like making him change his mind. I think like watching them scramble, like come into the house and scramble at the mixer, trying to like form these connections is like it's like watching roaches like scatter. Like I'm like it's kind of like desperate and like ooh, like it's a hard watch. So I think like giving them more time, giving the bombshells some more time is like a start. Like, do you watch Love Island?
I have seen it. I know the premise of it. Yeah.
Right. So something like that. Like obviously in Love Island, the bombshells get to stay, but I think like maybe or even introducing like of like a house full and like doing eliminations versus like boardrooms and whatever, but that's
See, I
just
think
like
I like the idea of the bombshell thing. I think that maybe you have you have each couple that has their own room or whatever, and then you have like a bombshell room. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, or you can call them wild cards, whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? Like, they can stay, 24 hours. That means they get to mix and mingle. That means they can try to steal your, man or woman, whatever that
yeah,
looks like. I also like the idea, you kind of hit it on a little bit. I would love the idea of maybe like a shotgun start, all 22 people. You
right,
start in the house together. You have 48 hours to find your quote unquote first perfect match. And then
Right.
because first off, that gives an opportunity of everybody to kind of mix and mingle. And it
Right.
gives everybody opportunity to be like, all right, if this isn't working after a day or two, then hey, like, could you match me? I also think there has to be some sort of stakes halfway through the season that we're not getting the stagnant people that are just trying to win the game or trying to stay on for so long, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Because we get to that point where it's like, are you guys really connected or are you guys staying on TV just to get more TV time?
Right. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing staying on TV for TV time because there is no prize. But I do think, a cash prize, I think a cash prize would also that's going to motivate people to just stay for the money,
Yeah.
versus, a trip. But then when you're only staying for the trip, you're literally only the only gain that you have is the airtime. So we're seeing a lot of that, you know?
Maybe
So
include I Love was it Love which one's the one? Is it Love Island that which one's the one that has like a fan aspect of it?
Love Island.
Right. That's
Yeah.
not even a terrible idea of like introducing some sort of fan interaction of like which couple would you like to something
Yeah.
to introduce to.
Fulfillment in real time,
Oh
not
yeah, I
a,
forgot about that. Yeah, I
you know
forgot
what I
about that
mean?
7 years ago. And not before
Yeah.
other shows are aired. I forget that Netflix. Yeah, because this was shot like August last year. Like I said, The Trust hadn't aired. Love Is Blind
Yeah.
season 6 hadn't aired yet. Like there's like 50 million. Like because they already have another show on. Like I talked about, that boot camp show is already in the can that has people from that are going to be in the new season of The Mole that's not even out yet are on this show. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, they have so much.
Fix is filming it and airing it sooner because it's like a
Also want
year
more episodes.
more episodes.
Yes.
I think more episodes if they can fix the little kinks, because I think that if we would have had any more episodes of this show, I
Oh,
might have pulled.
this season would have been bad.
If we fix some of the kinks, I think we could go for more episodes. But again, because this pact that the cast allegedly had where new people weren't coming in, I was getting tired of seeing these faces. Like, I want to see some new faces. Like,
I had to see Izzy way more than I thought I was going to. But I'm just saying. Also, I I don't know how I feel about people from Too Hot to Handle being on the show because it's dominant from Too Hot to Handle. Don't get me wrong. I love Too Hot to Handle. Excited it's coming back next month.
right,
But the whole premise of Too Hot to Handle is initially, is
right,
everybody there is just basically trying to hook up.
right,
So like
right.
you're bringing people that are really coming from a show where you're not supposed to hook up, but 99% of the time they're always losing money because they're always hooking up.
Yeah.
That aspect of things, I feel like you bringing them onto this show to quote unquote find love. I don't think I've ever seen anybody from Too Hot to Handle on this show really ever trying to find love in the 2 seasons we've done it now.
Right. But they're hot. They're nice
Well,
to
that's
look.
true. That's true
You know,
too.
they're hot and they're drama and they're bringing, the hookups. We need that healthy balance of love and hookups.
I need something to change just because I do think that you're right. Like seeing the same faces gets old unless it's like but like to the point now, it's like no couples are working out, so you don't have any hope there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just,
They've
yeah.
a way to do it because I mean Love Island films a lot longer, but even the people, I think there's three couples still together from last season. So whatever they're doing is working. But again, they're also filming over a whole summer. So there's a lot more time, to actually these people. But I think, I don't know, the bombshells need to stay longer. I think, like you said, maybe adding some type of fan aspect to where the cast doesn't have the control, because with the cast having the control, they're playing games, they're trying to get airtime, they're doing what works for them and not necessarily what's working for the viewer. So
Yeah, because the thing about this show is so different is from a Love Is Blind, from a The Trust, from any of the Two Out the Handles. None of those people have followings most of the time. Don't have main massive followings yet. So because
right.
of that, these people are fresh, brand new, trying to get those get. Obviously, we've seen a lot of people try to get some clout on those shows nowadays, especially Love Is Blind, but you have
Right.
all of these people that are fresh and new. You're having people that understand that this show is going to be the number one show on Netflix, period. It's
Yeah.
period going to be there. So the longer I'm on the show, they have their cell phones, they have all of that stuff. They're probably in constant communication, especially the big ones. I guarantee you Harry was on the phone with his management team quite often, or, you
Right.
know, his agent or whatever it was looking like. What should I do here? Should I do this? He probably even called, should I kiss Melinda or should I not kiss? You know what I mean? He's that. Again, we criticize Harry for a lot of what he did in the house, but again, he was entertaining. And
Right.
the most talked about person from the show this season is Harry. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
and that's the reason why Netflix loves him. That's the reason why he continues to be on everything. He's the face of everything. People apparently pay lots of money to see him on OnlyFans. We found out people pay to have sex with that man. I mean, there's a lot going on for Harry. It's not a bad day to. It's never apparently a bad day to be Harry. And plus, he's a good-looking
Never,
guy.
and
So he,
whoever pairs themselves with Harry, they get that attention that comes along with Harry. And I feel like, I thought it was
Dom.
interesting saying Dom, yeah, Dom, like that Melinda was trying to get like her 15 minutes by pairing herself with Harry. Okay, what about everybody else who's paired themselves with Harry? Like they're doing it for the exact same reason. So it's like, don't come for Melinda, okay?
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Before we go, any parting words that we can leave on the table from you on Perfect Match Season 2?
Perfect Match Season 2. Either come with it next season, either change up some shit, or I'm not gonna watch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna watch. But
I say that like I'm the same way with like Love is Blind. If nobody gets married, I'm not gonna watch. If
yeah,
only one couple gets married this year, I'm never watching again. And the moment you get a trailer, I'm already on TikTok talking about what we saw in the damn trailer. Like
yeah.
Netflix
No,
knows that.
I'm gonna watch. I think every single season I get comments like, I'm done with this show. I'm not watching anymore. And it seems like every season it just gets bigger and bigger. Like,
Yeah.
but again, even with Love is Blind, the behind the scenes tea, the insider tea, the stuff that ends up coming out about these people's real lives is like more entertaining than like what's on the show. And I think that Netflix knows that. Like Netflix knows, like, yeah, like I
Yeah.
he's spilling the tea actually. I
I
think
would
they're
surprise right, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if there is some leaks in the
yeah.
kitchen just and on purpose. I mean, which if they are, good for y'all. Y'all are brilliant. I mean, y'all are doing your thing. So,
Yeah.
all right, that is it for this week's episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. Thank you so much, Rikkii, for joining me. You had Rikkii squared today. You'll be able to find her socials in the podcast comments on YouTube as well on the comments below. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.